I'm at Craven Cottage waiting for Fulham against Leeds United in the Premier League, but I just wanted to share a few of my thoughts after watching Sheffield United's debacle at Portman Road. I was up in Suffolk and I couldn't believe what I was watching. The last game that I watched with my own eyes was actually at Wembley Stadium when Sheffield United, unfortunately for them, missed out on promotion to the Premier League, and actually for a good part of that game were the better side and actually got mugged, I thought, in the last closing stages of that, and Sunderland ended up getting promoted. The terrible decision of Summit really was an awful decision to get rid of Chris Wilder. I said it at the time, and I know I wasn't the only person. I mean, what a popular manager he was. He galvanised a team that had been struggling in the Premier League. He had a very difficult summer last year, and somehow he managed to get the best out of what he had. And they got mighty close. I mean, 90 points, 92 points if you count the fact that 2 points were deducted, only beaten by Leeds United and Burnley, got 100 points each. It was unprecedented. And here's the interesting thing. So here I am at Craven Cottage today, where Leeds are obviously playing Fulham. They're in the Premier League. Daniel Varker got them up. There were calls for Varker to go, literally. Last summer there were a lot of fans saying that he's taken them as far as he could and he wasn't up to it. But Leeds United were sensible. They stuck with him because, again, it was unprecedented for Leeds. They should have gone up the previous season, really should have done. It was only because of Ipswich and Leicester being absolutely fantastic that season that they missed out. And of course, they kind of bottled it at Wembley, but that can happen. That can happen in these one-off games. And sometimes the emotion can get a bit too much. But Leeds were sensible. They stuck with Varker, and he got them promoted as champions with 100 points. And as I say, they've got off to a decent start actually in the Premier League, and they're playing Fulham today here in West London. Fulham, of course, another club that managed to sort things out. They were yo-yoing up and down for years between the Championship and the Premier League, and now they've established themselves as a top-flight club. But honestly, Ruben Selles last night, I was really surprised actually by his explanation of the performance. I mean, he claimed that he saw the team that he wants to see in the first half. You know what, they were okay in the first half. I wouldn't go any further than that. I wouldn't say that they were well beaters and they were playing some sort of swaggering football. Not at all. I thought they were all right. They were standing toe-to-toe with Ipswich, but Ipswich go in the lead 1-0. Jaden Philogene, who obviously went on to score a hat-trick. But the way they responded in the second half, when they went 2-0 down, I'm sorry to just say, oh, it was because of the second goal, we're unlucky with the second goal, and then we fall apart. Well, that's not acceptable. You shouldn't fall apart. You're 2-0 down, you should be trying to get back into the game. And yeah, they did fall apart. They're absolutely abysmal. But then you have to question the team selection. Gus Hammer, he was the Championship Player of the Season last year. Absolutely terrific, creative player in the middle of the park. It really is, So for him to suddenly be benched, I thought that was ridiculous. And of course, Tyrese Campbell, who scored goals last season for them, and he was on the bench. And Ruben Selles said before the game, the reason why he made the changes is because he wanted to make Sheffield United, listen to this, more robust. They were far from robust. They were absolutely pathetic. Ipswich just literally walked through them at times, didn't they? Especially in the second half. I'm sorry, but it's not acceptable. And I was surprised that Selles sort of said that, really. Because last season, Sheffield United, for the most part, were robust. Chris Wilder did make Sheffield United a robust team. I do wonder sometimes when owners make these ridiculous decisions. I mean, it was a decision, mirrored, it was mirroring what Birmingham did, wasn't it, a couple of seasons ago, when they got rid of John Eustace, who was doing really well, and replaced him with Wayne Rooney. It's a similar sort of thing. The owners have come in there. They obviously haven't really got a clue about the people of Sheffield and the Sheffield United fans. Wilder, a popular manager, just missed out on promotion to the Premier League. The fans are behind him. There's a real feel-good factor at the club, albeit, it was disappointing that they lost at Wembley. But you sort of build on that. You don't just rip it up and start again and say, hey, that wasn't the right way, we're going to go down a new path. It really is. And these are owners obviously just don't understand the DNA of a football club. I didn't think they had much identity last night. I was so stunned because Sheffield United last year really did have a clear identity. You knew what they were all about, and I didn't see that. And that has to come from the manager. The manager is responsible for that. They've got Charlton on Saturday. They've already lost 6 games on the spin this season, 5 in the league. Obviously, they went out in the Carabao Cup as well. If they were to lose against Charlton at Bramall Lane, a 7th defeat in a row, I just can't see how he can survive. I really can't. I like Ruben Sellers, by the way. I've met him a couple of times. I interviewed him when he was at Reading. The only thing I'll say about him is he's not got some incredible personality, and I do wonder what his interactions are like with the players on that front. I might be speaking out of term because I don't know him really well, but having engaged with him a couple of times, you know, you don't really, I don't feel like you get close to him. But anyway, that's just my personal thoughts. So say, I'm at Craven Cottage. Leeds are in the Premier League because they stuck with their manager, and unfortunately Sheffield United bottom of the Championship because they didn't.